Hey there, Cornerstone, and happy Monday. I'm coming to you with your inspirational vitamin today from Luke chapter 15. It's a familiar story, the parable of the prodigal son, or the parable of the two sons. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because we're all super familiar with it. I'm going to pick up really and talk about the older brother today. Excuse me. And so I'm going to read in Luke chapter 15, starting in verse 25, and I'm going to read down through the end of the parable. Now his older son was in the field. As he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he summoned one of the servants, questioning what these things meant. Your brother is here, he told him, and your father has slaughtered the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound. Then he became angry and didn't want to go in. So his father came out and pleaded with him. But he replied to his father, Look, I've been slaving many years for you, and I've never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never even gave me a goat so that I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your assets with prostitutes, you slaughtered the fattened calf for him? Son, he said to him, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Let's think about the terms numbness or numb and insensitivity versus their opposites, sensitivity or feeling. Insensitivity or numbness is a mark of our time, right? I mean, we all know people like this. A person that gets up in the morning, opens their computer, reads emails, maybe makes a few phone calls, rushes into the office in traffic, eats poorly throughout the day, works all afternoon, maybe goes to work out or something after work, um, has a show they watch, and then back on their computer again at night, at midnight around that time, back on the computer, and then they go to sleep, wash, rinse, repeat the next day. When you think about that kind of person, is that somebody that you usually would associate with someone that cares about others, that is worried about their neighbor, that knows their neighbor? Does that person think about their family and make phone calls to check in on them? I mean, maybe. Oftentimes, when you think of somebody like that, though, they're pleased with themselves, right? Because they think I'm efficient, I'm productive. They pay their bills and their taxes. On the weekend, they might spend a little time with some friends, and they go back on Monday and start the cycle all over again. When you look at this story in Luke chapter 15, the older son, I think, was a lot like that, right? Maybe numb, uncaring, insensitive to what was going on. Do you get the sense that this older son was familiar or acquainted with his father's suffering about his younger brother? Was he thinking about his brother, worried about him? Thinking about what's going on. Was he wondering if he was still alive? I imagine the brother had sort of the attitude of, he chose his path, and whatever happens to him happens. Um, uh, I think people like that often may have the attitude where they know more about what's going on with their neighbors and others than they do about what's going on, or maybe other people at their job than they do about their own children. We've all seen this film. Somebody that is, they can be quick to point out the faults in others and see things in others, but don't see what's going on in their own heart, in their own house. If that older brother wasn't so insensitive, wasn't so numb, maybe, I think when he heard music, he would say, well, what's this music? Hey, what's going on? There's a reason for this party that's happening. He would have found out, he'd be like, my brother's back. And he would have taken off running to the house. There would have been this huge hug, like something you see in the movies where everything slows down. There would have been tears, there would have been joy, and that joy and happiness would have been contagious. But insensitivity and numbness can be like a bucket of cold water in the face, of the fire that is our emotions. It often leads to people being jealous of others, always blaming others for their for faults, but never taking responsibility for their own. It's the type of person that goes through their day checking off the list of all the things they need to do in a very methodical and mechanical manner, but without feeling, without introspection about themselves. Our own sensibility or sensitivity, I'm sorry. I think it starts in our relationship with God. What greater joy is there than having a relationship with God? What greater inheritance do we have than that of knowing that all that belongs to God belongs to us? The life of following Jesus isn't easy, but it is full of joy. He said he came to give us life to the full. And that life to the full starts with having a heart that is, willing to be put out there. It can be hurt. It's what keeps it from being numb, is because we put our heart out there over and over again. And so, my encouragement for us today is, instead of focusing on judging others for their faults, let's have compassion. Let's have grace. Yes, we need to have conviction about what is right and wrong, right? We do need to have that. We need to make sure our allegiance is to our King and his what it means to be a part of his kingdom. But we also don't ever need to let our hearts get numb and insensitive to the plights of others, like this older son did. Let's care about our neighbors. Let's see what's going on in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our jobs, and really try to be in touch with things that are going on. So that's your inspirational vitamin for the day. Luke 15:25 through 32. Have an awesome Monday. Love your Cornerstone. We'll see you out there. Amen.